It's very likely that we've all encountered narcissistic individuals in our lives, whether it's a coworker, friend, or even a family member. We see some negative characteristics, like their inflated egos, manipulative tactics, and lack of empathy. But have you ever wondered if these narcissists are actually aware of their own behavior and how it affects those around them? Do they see it too? It's time to find out. In this video, we'll delve into the mind of a narcissist and uncover the truth about their self-awareness. First, let's talk about what a narcissist is. These individuals thrive on being appreciated and admired. In fact, they're often seeking to be the center of attention in any situation. They have a strong desire for recognition and may expect special treatment to align with their elevated sense of self-importance. This sense of self-worth often leads them to believe they are exceptional or unique, deserving privileges or recognition that others might not receive. That's not all. They may also show little empathy for others, focusing instead on their own needs and desires. Their constant craving for praise and validation often stems from an inner need to reinforce their self-image, and they may go to great lengths to ensure they are noticed or admired by those around them. All these can make it difficult for them to form deep, reciprocal relationships. Now, the reality is that their level of awareness of their own narcissism depends on which of the 6 groups of narcissists they belong to. Let's start with the first group. We're talking about the ones who fully know they're narcissistic and just don't care. These people often own their behavior with zero shame, which is why you'll hear them say things like, "Yeah, I'm a jerk. So what? At least I'm a more powerful jerk than you." Or they'll brush off any idea of empathy or sensitivity towards others, saying, "I'm not here for this touchy-feely nonsense. You've got to be tough in this industry, and that's exactly what I am. I don't care what anyone thinks." This kind of bold indifference is usually seen in more extreme, malignant narcissists. They're the people who don't follow social norms and couldn't care less about how others see them. You'll see them act badly and feel entitled to their actions. Then, when things blow up, they lean on other people, like publicists, crisis teams, or lawyers, to fix the mess. Often, you'll find them throwing a ton of money at the problem to make it go away. The next group is those narcissists who know they are one, and they don't really like it. These people might start to realize how their narcissistic habits are hurting both their own lives and the people around them. They're aware of that side of themselves, but it's not like they're proud of their narcissism or see it as a good thing. Some may even be part of the rare group genuinely trying to get help and change their ways. But even then, they often keep making mistakes. They can even end up feeling frustrated because they might feel like everyone's expecting too much from them. Next up is the group of narcissists who don't care if they are one and how it impacts others. These are people who just don't seem to have much empathy. Things like success, wealth, or fame often shield them from the world, making them totally out of touch. Worse, they feel like they're entitled to everything and don't really care how their actions impact others. Their power also lets them avoid consequences again and again, usually by relying on others to clean up their messes for them. These narcissists see the people around them as those born to serve their needs, which is why they have no real care or sense of responsibility towards them. These people tend to keep it together when dealing with those they see as equals. But with everyone else, they act cold towards them, or even be downright mean. They just don't seem to care about how they treat other people. Now, if you're wondering if they even realize they're narcissistic, honestly, it doesn't matter. Because if you call them out, they'll probably shrug it off without a second thought. They're already stuck in their narcissistic ways, always finding new sources of validation to keep going. For instance, their detachment makes it easy for them to replace people in their lives. This means if their partner gets fed up and leaves, they'll just move on to someone new. And if a member of their staff gets burned out due to their unreasonable demands, they'll put together another one. The cycle of selfishness and insensitivity just keeps rolling. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. This next group is made up of narcissists who know they're not always the nicest, but they chalk it up to being straightforward instead of narcissism. Some people have this mindset of, "I just tell things the way I see them. I'm straightforward. I like speaking my mind, and if you don't like it, that's your problem." But what they don't realize is that their behavior can be attributed more to narcissism, not just straightforward or being brutally honest. They tend to act like they can say or do whatever they want, then blame others when they get called out or conflict starts. In particular, they call them too sensitive or thin-skinned for their remarks. These are the types of people who don't see themselves as particularly nice. However, they also don't recognize their behavior as narcissism. Instead, they brush it off as just being authentic. It doesn't matter if those around them get hurt in the process. As for this next group, they don't see themselves as nice, but they also don't think that's a problem. These types of narcissists are pretty much what you'd expect. They hardly ever stop to think about themselves or their actions, nor do they question what they're doing, what they believe, or how they act. Instead, they just keep holding on to their overblown sense of self-importance. Plus, they don't see themselves as having any flaws. They also can't handle criticism, and they would never even entertain the idea that they might be narcissistic. Admitting that would totally wreck the image of perfection that they've built of themselves. However, they're not as bad as this next group of narcissists who are more self-righteous. This last group of narcissists has zero insight into their narcissism and genuinely thinks they are nice people. You might be surprised, but this isn't some tiny, rare group. There's actually a pretty big subset of narcissists who honestly think they're kind and thoughtful people. These are often what we call communal narcissists. They're the folks who see themselves as heroes or champions of the greater good. It ties into the classic narcissist habit of overestimating their empathy and how much of a positive impact they have on others. Plus, this group of narcissists really believes they're exceptional, like they're the most wonderful people on earth. So, when someone calls them out on their behavior, they're often completely shocked and caught off guard. Dealing with people like this can feel like stepping into a strange, alternate reality. It's like you're sent into the Twilight Zone. They genuinely believe they're kind and well-meaning, completely unaware of how narcissistic, unkind, or hurtful their behavior can be to others. Simply put, the more someone with narcissistic traits starts recognizing that their behavior might be problematic, the more likely they are to take steps toward making some changes. People who are aware of their narcissistic tendencies and feel bothered or unhappy about their impact on others tend to show the highest levels of self-awareness. This self-reflection can serve as an important first step in addressing harmful patterns. While it's not always easy for these narcissists to admit their flaws, this discomfort can act as a motivator for improvement, fostering a willingness to seek help or work on their behavior. And if you liked this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment.